Hey YouTube family, it's Gina, and y'all, I am about to can some red beans and ham. So I figured I'd bring y'all along for this one. This is a pressure can, not a water bath can. So you will need a pressure canner to do this recipe. But I'm gonna share with you how I'm gonna can them up. I usually do red beans and smoked turkey, which you can do as well. But y'all, I don't know if y'all know this or not, and I've shared it before. The honey baked ham store, if you have one, when they get to like the end of the ham where there's still meat on it, but there's not a lot for slicing and making sandwiches, they freeze them and sell them. So a lot of people can buy them for soup bones and whatever. And so I went, and I always get them when they buy one get one free. So I got two ham bones for like $8 and something. I don't even think I'm using a whole ham bone in this recipe, and I have 2 pounds of beans. I do mine a little different, so I don't cook my beans first. I use dry beans and do it that way. So, do with that as you would. But this is the way I prefer to do it. I've done it with cooked beans. To me, they get overcooked. So I like to do it with dry beans. Then it will cook them some, and then I can cook them more if I need to. Well, I'm going to heat them up anyway. But if I feel like it needs more cooking, I could do that when I prepare them, because I'm going to season them and all that at that time. I don't do any seasoning beforehand. However, I am going to add some of my vegetable broth that I've canned up before. So let me set you guys up, and I'm gonna show y'all what we doing. All right, guys. So we are going to be canning these beans. I have mixed it 2 pounds of beans with some ham. So I have quart-sized jars that I'm going to be using. The reason the jars, if you've never canned before, have this little foam on it. When you're canning them, sometimes the process of that will discolor your jars a little bit. You can add vinegar to the water in your canner, and it kind of helps with that some, but it doesn't always keep it from happening, so I don't bother with it. It's not a big deal. I know they're good jars, and I know they're clean and all that good jazz. I have added a bay leaf to each one. This is a dried bay leaf to each one, and then I'm going to use some of my vegetable broth for the liquid in these. So each jar is going to be filled roughly halfway, and then I will add the liquid to get it to 1 inch headspace. So let's get started. All right, y'all, it looks like I'm gonna get 5 jars, which is fine. I didn't know how much I was gonna get. And these are quart-sized jars. I think I said that, but just in case I didn't, they're quart-sized jars. And there's a little bit of juice from the ham in there. We're gonna get that. All right. All that. There we go. All right. So now I'm just going to fill this the rest of the way with my vegetable broth that I canned up. So when I tell y'all, like, I check my seals, I cannot pop my jars with my hand. I always have to use something to kind of pop. Good Lord. And then I bent my lid. Pop. That's how you heard it you heard the pressure of the seal opening. So that's how you know it was a good seal. Okay? Actually, I need my funnel so that I don't make a mess with the liquid. So I'm going to get it to an inch head space. I think I showed y'all before, once you get to like the lip, that's about an inch. So actually I'm going to need more than a jar, but I think what I'll do is put water for the rest of it. So I'm going to have to go get more of my, let me see, I brought 3 jars of my vegetable broth up from the basement. So I think what I'm gonna do is half of it and half of that and half of water for the rest of them. Cause I don't feel like going back down there, y'all. Stop judging me. Because I'm going to flavor it up when I cook them anyway, so it's not that serious. I just figured I would use some of it to add a little more flavor to the beans. God dang it, y'all. Good Lord. Y'all think I'm playing. Like, listen, I cannot, if you can open yours with your hands, I don't know how, because good Lord. Okay, so what I'm doing with this process, this is going to be cold. My canner is cold. See how I got my hand just resting on it? It's cold. The eye is not on, nothing. There is water in there. Hold on. All right. So there is water in here. I put like 4 quarts, so I filled one of my quart jars 4 times. 4 quarts of water in the bottom of this. Because you just need water on the bottom so it doesn't all process out during the pressure process. So you have something in there with the jars. So it's not just touching the canner. There is a rack in here as well. It came with the canner. So there is a rack in there as well at the bottom. And if you don't have a rack, which the canners come with that, but you can always use a towel. Some people use the rings, like when they're water bath canning and stuff, they'll use the rings from the jars and do that. But I'm going to get some water. Actually, I got the vinegar. We're not ready for that yet. I'm going to get some water, and we are going to fill those the rest of the way. So I'm just going to do some filtered water from my fridge because I thought I was going to have enough. I don't know why that made sense in my head that was going to be enough for this project with just the broth, but as you see, no. So there's 1 inch, and I'm going to use my my little debubbler thing, but I know where 1 inch lays, so, and I may not use it because like I said, I know where it lays. Me showing you that I'm there really doesn't mean anything. You're going to still have to make sure you're there when you are canning. So don't get too caught up in that. But that's 1 inch pretty much right there at the bottom of the lid of your jar. So, and this water is cold. So it's making, I don't know why, because the broth is room temperature. It's in my basement. It's a cool basement. I do have a finished basement. Even if you don't, that doesn't really freaking matter anyway. But I have a big laundry room and I have shelves in there, and that's where I keep a lot of my canning stuff. But I'm in the process of redoing my basement. So when that happens, I will turn, I have a room down there that's like a size of probably a small bedroom. And I've been using it as a fitness room with it has a treadmill and things like that in there. But I'm getting rid of that stuff because the treadmill, the belt on it slips now. I've had it for a long time. Somebody actually gave it to me. A lady I met on, yeah, I'm making a mess with this water. On, if you're familiar with MyFitnessPal, that's where I met her at, and she lived like in Indiana, which is my neighboring state. And I was looking for one, and I was just looking for information on what the best ones were. And she was like, I have one that's just sitting in my extra bedroom that I need to get rid of. She brought it to me and everything. And all she wanted was gas money. I gave her more than that because I was like, girl, she traveled 3 hours to bring me that. Her and her girlfriends. And they went to, she was a seasoned member over there, and her and her friends were into crafting and stuff, and they went to Joann's because they didn't have one in their state where she lived at. Anyway, they do have one in Indiana, but they didn't have one where she was at. Anyway, so I got them all to an inch. I don't know if you can see that. So what I'm gonna do now is clean off my lids, my mouths of my jars, I should say, with the vinegar. And you can use any vinegar. I have both. I don't know why I always pick up this one. Probably because, I don't know. I don't know, maybe in my mind because there's more left in this one, I'm like sparingly using my white vinegar. Because there's less in that one. Maybe that's what my brain is going with it. Because I use them both. So we're just going to clean off the lip. And like I said, cold jars, cold canner for this one. I'm not doing hot. You can if you cook them first. So it depends on the recipe you're following. So if you do this method, cold. You're going to let these warm up through the process of this warming up. Okay? So let me get my lids. Alright, and my rings. Fingertip tight, and see that? So we got filled there, but filled up to there with the liquid. These are going to swell, so by the time we get done, these beans are going to be up here. And I can see I have a couple bad beans in it, but we're going to just live with that, okay? Because I see them floating. You do want to clean your beans. Let me go back. Let me rewind, because I didn't show that part. So I did rinse them off really good. Definitely clean your beans. Think about, if you're a gardener, you probably already, that's probably not a no-brainer. But this stuff is growing outside. All they're doing is taking out the outer shell of where the beans are, dumping those beans. It's all machine probably. And just put them in packaging and put it into stores. Clean it off. Rinse those things off. Clean them good. The packaging even tells you to do that. So those were clean beans before they were mixed in with my ham, okay? We did not just take that from a bag and put that with the meat, okay? Clean the beans. Thank you. Not with any soap, because I've seen people do stuff. Just rinse them off good. You can use a little vinegar in your water, soak them a little bit, swish them around, use a strainer to strain out the water, then rinse all that. Next time I'm gonna have to show y'all, just in case somebody needs. a visual, because I don't want you doing that. And that one's good. It doesn't have any floaters. That was good. My canner can fit 7 quart-sized jars. And this is a Presto canner. And it can fit 10 of the pint-sized jars. And I also have the bigger Presto canner where I can do 20 pint-sized jars at a time. It's just taller this way, but it only can do 20 of the pints. I can't double up on the quarts. I could double up on pints or smaller, but who would do pints? I don't even know why I went into all that. So anyway, let me wipe up all this liquid that spilled over when I was filling the jars. All right. So, cold canner, cold jars. Now I'm going to turn. Actually, I'm not even going to turn it on yet. We're going to put the lid on there. So, this is what the canner lid looks like. Let me tell you, because people are so worried about this thing exploding on them. When it hits pressure, this is going to come up and stay up. See, it's down. It's going to come up and stay up, and steam will be coming out of there. Steam will also be coming out of here. This is a emergency situation vent. If there's too much pressure built up in that canner, this thing is going to pop off, and it's going to allow the pressure to release. Then you can make, if that happens, you just take it off of the eye, let your canner cool off before you open it up. Okay? So the reason why there is this here, this is where your regulator will go, which actually it's a weighted regulator. It has a little piece on there that comes off. It comes with 2 of these, 2 weights. Some people, depending on the elevation, use no weights. I have to use 1. You have to look it up to see what your elevation is, and the book will tell you how you need to utilize this. Okay? When it comes to pressure, this is up. It's been up for 10 minutes. I wait 10 minutes after this comes up. Then I'm going to put this on here. You're going to hear it start rocking around because it's pressure coming out of there, steam coming out of there. I'm going to show you it, but I just wanted to tell you that. So we're going to put the lid on here, and it tells you which way for closing it. All right, so it's closed on there. For me, I always have the little thing that's going to pop up to the back, towards the back of my stove. You don't have to. I just always do. That's how I like to have it. And then we're going to turn on the eye. I'm going to start off with it on 7. I'm probably going to end up having to put it all the way up because, well, for whatever reason, I always have a hard time getting my pressure canner to pressure because I need to put some kind of weird marking on my stove because there's a certain spot it has to be in where it's touching it just right at the bottom to get it to pressure. You see it's getting red under there because it's starting to warm up. So anyway, I'm gonna let that happen. When I get to pressure, I'll come back and then we'll go to the next step, which is just putting that on there. These beans are gonna take 90 minutes to process, an hour and a half, y'all. So when we start it, I'll show you what time it is and come back when it's done. Now, I'm not going to probably come back as soon as it's done because what I'll do is like I do with my water bath. I'll take it off the eye. I will let it sit for a while before I open it. All right, so we'll be back. All right, guys, so let me show you. You see that? It's popped. It's been like that for about probably 11, 12 minutes because I didn't come right away. It's 9:01. You can hear it steaming and everything. We're going to put this on top. I only needed 10 minutes in order to do that. So after so long, that will start rocking. When I come back to take it off of the eye, I'll let you see. Because it's getting there. I know you can hear the steam and everything. But it'll start rocking. All right, guys, so I'll see you again at about 10:30. All right. All right, guys, so it's 10:30. You see how it's rocking now? Remember I told you it's gonna be rocking. Turn this off, and then I'm just going to move it off of that eye so that it's not getting the heat to continue cooking. And then I'm just gonna let it cool down. You see the rocket's already slowing down, but it's gonna take a while. So that's gonna stop rocking, and as the pressure goes down, that will eventually drop. So just like we waited for it to pop to start, that needs to drop. Okay. All right. So that's gonna take some time, and as when I pull the jars out, I'll let you guys see that. I may, because it's late, it's 10:30. I told you I work today. This is a weekday. So I may not get me pulling them out of the canner. I'll try to. We'll see. But if not, you still will get, I will still come back on later and show you the jars and how they turned out. Okay? All right. See you in a bit. All right, guys. So it is morning. But we go get these jars out. So you can see this is still on there, the regulator. I'm taking that off. You don't take it off until after that drops in the bath. Okay? So, move this back over. This is still warm. It's not hot, but it's still warm. Oh yeah, they're good. I thought I was smelling them a lot, so I was worried about siphoning, but it did not siphon too bad. So let me show you 1 second. Get a towel to lay it out on. All right. But it did siphon because my water shows that, but I still got plenty in there with the beans. So you can see that those beans are not quite done because they're not as big as they can get, even though they're small red beans. So that's good for me. They smell good though. I was smelling them last night when the canning was happening. Like I said, I was worried that I was getting a bunch of siphoning, which, because sometimes I will, and siphoning is just when the pressure builds up, which is why you leave headspace on the jars. When the pressure builds up, that water will bubble up and it will siphon out the sides of the jars. So that's normal. Don't worry about that. That you'll see, like, your water for your canner will have the broth or whatever from whatever you're canning. For me, especially pressure canning, I don't have it as bad with water bath, but definitely have it quite a bit with my pressure. But all of my jars still have fluid, plenty of liquid above the beans. And this one, oh, you know what? I did. That's why. Because this one had less than the other ones did. Because I was going to say, this one is lower as far as the amount of beans in there than my other ones. But that's all good. So, let me show you real quick. Let me move some stuff out because this is driving me nuts. Let me show you real quick what I mean and what it looks like in this pot. 1 second. All right, guys. So you see that coloration from the beans and the broth? That happened during the canning process. So this water was just clear when we started. You could see, like, even it has that little film like you would get from processing meats that's probably coming from the pork that's in there, the little fattiness from it. But yes, that will happen. But nonetheless, we got jars that, you know, did very well. So I have had times where my jars will siphon. Hold on, guys. What? Yeah, I don't know what just happened. Just in case I was not recording. Because it just did something. But anyway, guys, I have had times where my jars have siphoned to the point that the item that I'm canning is now above some of the liquid. Not like by a lot, but a little. My collards did that, and they are just fine. Um, that's not an issue, but I just do like it when it's covering it. But what I do with my collards is every now and again I will, and I mean, when I say every now and again, it's very rare. It's just when I think about it, when I'm down there, I would go and I would like turn it over and just, try to mix in the collards and the water is basically what I canned it in together. However, the color's always fine. Like I'll see the part that's above the fluid, the liquid, and they're still moist. You can see the glisten and all that, so they're not drying up. So it's not a deal, guys. And meats do it too. I have it with when I've done beef or chicken. Sometimes it just siphons out quite a bit. They're processing for a long time. I think beef and chicken in quart-sized jars probably are about an hour and a half to an hour and 45 or something like that. They process for quite a while. So during that processing and all that pressure building up, the liquid is going to bubble a lot, and it will siphon out the side some. It's all good. But anyway, guys, that is my canning red beans. I'm going to can some either navy or pinto because I still have ham. Maybe both. I don't know. I'm really the only in my home currently. I'm the only one who eats beans, but I really like them. So a quart jar of beans is fine for me because I'll eat them for a few days, and it's just good. So, and I will probably like take some of these beans and make like red beans and rice. So even though it has ham in it, I'll add the andouille sausage to it and have red beans and rice. Who knows? Possibilities are endless. Anyway, guys, I hope you like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.